Hey guys, made at least two mistakes on the one of each on the two previous recordings of today. The first one, which was about an hour long, I left the mute button on the whole time. So it's like one of the silent movies of the past. And number two, on the number two show, I paused the show I think about 10:03 because I was going to take a short nap. I don't know how long I'd been taping. And then I woke up 3 hours later, and when I hit the tab for the show, my image was already moving before I undid the pause. So I don't know if hitting the tab did it or that it came off the pause on its own within a certain amount of time or what. I have no idea. So, and this is the third video today, Morning Office, Sunday, May 4th, 2025. We're way back in 2025, for God's sakes. Oh my God. As you can see, it's 1:25 in the afternoon. I just sent out the weekly approve or disapprove email to people who taped a show last week. The search term on that is AOD. And then earlier today or late last night, I sent out the taping schedule for next week. And in between, I've done a couple of things. I looked up a bunch of information about Ash Kalra, who is a California State Assembly person who is known for his legislative work about housing. I'm doing that in conjunction with Lourdes Salinas, who is a person from Sacramento who co-founded the Alternative Housing Alliance of Sacramento. That's one thing I did. And another thing I did was I got an email from and then called a gentleman whom I call Gig Doll because that's the name of his company. Rather put out the name of his company than his own name because it's more better for his promotional attempts. And he's in some other country other than the United States. I don't know which. I suspect it's like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. As I do not a lot, but I do more contract. What am I trying to say? More contract work. I parcel out more contract work to those countries than most. Yeah, so what else? I don't know. So now it's like I said, 125, 127. Trying to figure out what am I doing next. I think I'll put some of the articles that came up about Ash Culver's housing efforts into my Natural Reader app, and maybe have it read those to me. Also, I think I'm gonna take some more meds today. I have to go get my med tracker, and I think some point I may upload some more KMBT videos. A long week ahead of me here, so we have a very what looks on paper like a busy week. I don't know that it really will be. Yeah. Oh, and I want to send out an email to the first 50, the most recent 50 guests on the show to try to encourage them to come back on the show. So I'm going to do that. And that's that. Everything's done for that except the making the Google contacts group, which I haven't done yet, but the rest of it's done. The email's written. I do have a persistent cough, uh, which many of you already know. I'm going to take this medicine, but I also want to make sure I put it on the tracker. So I don't know what I'm doing. I know that I do have to reduce the amount of number of tabs I've got open. So I'm going to like close some of these tabs. Imagine that, a video of someone coughing. How interesting is that, boy? That would make a great thumbnail. Not. Let's see. I don't have a name for these different guests. Guest labels. Oh, you know what we could do? Here were some of these things. What I'm doing right now is editing the titles of some of the Google contact groups I have. Long story as to why, but short version is when I first make one, I give it some special part of a name so that it sits at the top of the food chain so I don't have to screen down all the time. And then after I'm done, I remove the special symbol. Sometimes it's a dash or a hyphen. And they go back to their regular place. Like I have one here called T schedule, which was last week's taping schedule. I had put a hyphen in front of it so it would sit at the top of the leaderboard here. Now I'm going to take that away so that it goes back to its proper place and that I can put something else at the top of the leaderboard, like the new first 50 or most recent 50 at this time. Most recent 50 guests on the show. See why I do this? Stuff's a lot more complicated than anybody thinks it is, I'll tell you that. So, all right, so I'm going in and editing these names to get the special symbol out of it. Kind of glad I'm doing these videos now because also people learn the intricacies of being a person running a business that has neuro. Because all these little tiny things we do help us. We can't do the big things, the big things that would make it a monetary success, but you can at least do these little things anyway. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to put guest. I guess I'm going to name this hyphen guest group. And since there will be other guests in the future who will then be the more recent guests, this group could be what? Could have gone by the I thought of it. I could have gone by the show number. That would have been good. Let's see if I can find. I made a list of these people. Can find it. Maybe I can extrapolate the guest. I didn't anticipate having this Google contact group naming problem here. Oh boy, and of course can't find it. It's got to be somewhere else. All right, well, I'm just going to go with what? I don't know. Let's call this group what? Let's see, if we have 50, and there's about 350 things, then there shouldn't be more than what, 7 or 8 groups, right? So this could be group. So if I started from the bottom and named them like 99, the last one is group 99. So we have space for 100 groups of 50, which is what, 5,000. So then this would be like number 90 or number 91 maybe. Yeah, that's good. All right, let's call this group 91. Okay, and then groups that are older than this one can be like 92, 93, and groups younger than this can be like 89, etc. I did put in the hyphen. Now at some point I gotta find the damn names because I wrote them down. And a small notebook, which is right there. Hey, I don't want to do this right now. And what I want to do is get the damn medicine in my body. So let me stop and see if I can do that. I don't know. Maybe pick my nose on camera, which is picking your nose is probably one of the few things left that's truly taboo. One of the few disgusting things that people can do. Eat still. What's that? Oh boy, okay, so shit. There's too many windows open, too much stuff going on. Too many rabbit holes. Too many rabbit holes. Here's another rabbit hole right here. Can't do it all. Gotta pick and choose. Oh Lord, I'm so tired right now. And I'm usually tired, so. Okay, that's that, which is where that's spinning. Okay. Oh boy, I want to watch some TV. And I wouldn't mind it if the sound of the TV show spilled over into the video, although there's probably a copyright infringement for doing that. As if anybody cares anymore. People are stealing clips of movies to put on their own YouTube channel. And there's videos on TikTok on how to do it, how to steal it. So get back to me about that, as my friend would say. All right, so what I want to pull up is the meds thing, which I'm now finally remembering is probably on my desktop, not what it was. I'm getting rid of this file. There I have a file on my desktop that's Microsoft placed it in a format called protected view, which I don't even have time to think about, let alone Microsoft's protected view. Oh my God, I don't like it. We don't like it. All right, so now we go back here, and I'm going over to home to refresh my Google Drive. There's my med tracker, which is what I'm looking for. So hopefully that'll open up. I'm going to go have some wine. I'm going to go have some prune juice here and some coffee and another lunch. This thing is so minuscule. I can't even believe it. Why? I have no idea. Shouldn't be like that. So I'm going to hit Control Plus. Try to. Okay, so then today's the 4th, right? Which is a Sunday. Yeah, this was Saturday over here yesterday. Yeah, Sunday. Okay, and it is 1:40 p.m. All right, and I'm taking the 8 o'clocks. The 8 at what they call the 8 a.m. meds, which is a long list of stuff that I will someday. I don't feel like doing it right now. Oh God, someday I will, maybe even today. All right, so that happened. That's relatively expeditious. If I don't write down all the names, I'm very superstitious about losing copies, since I've lost entire book manuscripts in my lifetime. Entire book manuscripts, which really sucked. I had a book called The Zen Book, which, as far as I know, I really lost. It's different than my book called Meditations on Being Human, which reminds me of one of the things I want to do. I wish I had a to-do list somewhere, like a long-term to-do list. So maybe we can give it an acronym. I love acronyms. I've got tens of thousands. Long-term TD, long-term to-do list. It looks like a LTD, which was a kind of Ford model of a Ford back in the day. LTD today is what they just say. That's another reason I want to do this, is I have dementia and I can't remember. I was going to come up with a long-term goal, and I just spoke it into the machine and then forgot it almost instantaneously. All right, kids. All right, we got this med tracker done. All right, so I'm going to go take a break, I think. Yeah, I think so. So much. And then I might even, where'd you guys go? There you are. Okay, I am going to do what? I'm going to shut this video off. And I think once I shut it off, I'm going to shut off the computer because this computer is so old and so infected, it needs to be turned off, and on 2 or 3 times a day. It's the only thing I know I can do without hiring a computer repair person for $2.7 trillion. So, all right, love you guys very much. It's 1:44, as you can plainly see there on my up above my shoulder. Whether that's my right or left, I have no idea. All right, living the dream. Talk to you guys soon. I'll be back hopefully soon. I'm gonna go warm up some coffee that I made. I'm going to eat some lunch. I'm going to take my meds. I already put them in the system as having been taken, so I know I recorded it. All right, kids. Later in life. Yeah. Why is it no longer verbalizing the